No, I used to throw these incredible parties at my mom's house, like huge, big fucking parties, and they were so fun. But at the same time, I was running from something. You know what I mean? I was emotionally hurt from something, right? And so I had no disregard for anything. Anyway, we were having this party at my house, and the guy who helped me buy all the beer and set everything up, he's like, we got to start drinking before everyone gets here. So we start doing like this drinking game that is like heavy drinking the entire time. And this is like 2 hours before the party even starts.
Were you also a preteen at this time of your life?
No, well? I was in high school. I was in early high school though, early, like freshman, sophomore, maybe sophomore, I think.
Okay.
And we start drinking, dude. I'm hammered by the time everyone starts getting there, and I'm just belligerent. And eventually I find myself in the bathroom, you know, throwing up. And my girlfriend at the time is holding me, and like I'm just violently throwing up. And then I was like, fuck it, I want to go back out to the party. So I go out to the party, and I go into the living room in front of everyone, and I'm like, rock on! And then I just puke all down my shirt. I puke all over myself. And then my girlfriend's like, Ryan, you need to go back to the bathroom. I'm like, shut up, bitch. Like it was bad, dude. Like,
no,
dude. Yeah, it was bad. And I feel terrible about this for anybody watching and thinking I'm a garbage human. I've made amends. I've apologized. This is just the story. This is the facts. Anyway, I'm like, shut up, bitch. And everyone's like, oh, fuck. You know, it's like at a party, the record stops and everyone's like, what the fuck? And
you hear like a broken glass, the door like it slams open.
Yeah. So then I like my girlfriend at the time, she still helped me back to the bathroom. And now I'm violently puking like hard. Like, and before you know it, my mom busts through the door like an FBI agent looking for fucking drugs. And she's like, what the hell's going on here? Do you need to go to the hospital? Good luck. And I was like, oh my God. And dude, I'm like going through it hardcore. Like I really was fucked up. And the next day, you know, I wake up and everyone's gone. I'm in my bed alone and there's shit in my pants. And there's shit in my I'm like, who's shit in my pants? Who's shit in my pants?
Is this where the first I shit myself story came about?
I think I definitely shit myself before this, but this was like from drinking for sure.
Was it smeared or was it like a turd, like a thick turd?
I think it was just like excrement. Just there. It was just excrement. It was kind of just like sludge. Anywho, before you know, I'm like, what the fuck? And I had a terrible hangover. I think this was like the first time I had like a really, really bad hangover. Mm-hmm. And like my head's pounding. I feel terrible. I'm actually physically poisoned. And I come out of my dungeon, out of my cave, and my mom's there, my sister's there, and my girlfriend's there. And all of them are just cleaning up the house. And it's a mess. And they won't say anything to me. They all hate me. And they're just looking at me with this stink eye. And they all just fucking hate me.
Wait, your sister,
Alexis, yeah. So I go into the bathroom and I get in the shower. She's like, my mom's like, remember, we're going to meet grandma for an escape room in Cleveland. And you need to shower. So I go and I shower, right? And my girlfriend, my mom, and my sister, we all get in the car. They still won't talk to me. We drive, and we end up in.
Are you trying to create conversation? Are you?
Yeah, I'm like.
Are you trying to get the aux going?
You know? I was kind of trying. I've been trying to get back on anybody's good side, or else this is because I felt like garbage. Like I felt like I had been hit by a bus. Worst hangover ever. Mm-hmm. And
well, here's the thing: you have two people that have reason to be mad. Your mom and your girlfriend, right? You know, the whole girlfriend thing you already explained. You had a party at the house. Your sister, she's just mad she didn't get invited. All right. Straight up.
She's just on the bandwagon. She just wants something to hate. And that was me.
Yeah.
So we end up in the Walmart parking lot to pick. That's where we met my grandma, like halfway or whatever, right? To pick my grandma up. And as soon as we get in the parking lot, I get out and I'm puking into a plastic bag. And my grandma...
No trash box, no box, just bag.
Yeah, just bag. I'm in the car, you know? And I get out and like the door's open and my grandma gets in the passenger side, right? Mm-hmm. And she goes, what's wrong with him? And my mom goes, he was drinking. And she was like... he was drinking. Like she got so for real. She's like, he was drinking. And then now there's... add her to the list of people that absolutely hate me in this moment. And dude, I just remember we get in the car and now we drive 45 minutes to Cleveland and still not one word is said to me. And it's so awkward. And now we get into an escape room where the whole idea is you're working together with people to figure out these clues and get the hell out of here before the chainsaw murderer gets out of his cage, in an hour. Yeah. And so we
it was chainsaw murder themed. Like, what was the theme of this escape room?
Like the escape room was you were in like Buffalo Bill's house and he was behind a like cage and he was like it was a guy in like a mask and he
so was it was like Silence of the Lambs themed? Was it actually like a Silence of the Lambs theme? Like Buffalo Bill?
I don't think it was official, but it was just like there was a guy with a chainsaw and you were in like a shed almost like barn, but it was electronic, Yeah. And they're all working together, figuring out clues and working together. And I'm over here just like fucking sick to my stomach, like trying to do anything. You know what I mean? I couldn't do nothing. It was the only escape room I've ever done. And
did you try communicating in other ways, like without talking? Did you pick something up and like point it at that direction? Were they acknowledging any behavior whatsoever?
No, they would all just give me the stink eye and fucking and just keep doing whatever they were doing. And
well, the thing is, it's funny because it's like, what if they can't figure anything out? You know what I mean? You went drinking at the house, you did some wrong things, but what if they can't figure out? What if you're their only hope?
Yeah, I'm the key to the whole thing.
Yeah, literally.
I wasn't. We all got out at like the 45-minute mark, but
and then they blame it, and then they're like probably like, no, thanks to you, and it's like, well, you didn't even let me help. You know what I
mean? Yeah, actually, I think didn't we do an escape room one time? Remember when we went out to Fremont? They had some scary shit out in Fremont, right? And they had this
we didn't do an escape room. We did the haunted hydro. On acid.
That's right.
Remember? It was me, you, Curtis, and Kenzie. And the first one was the most fucked because at the very end, the chainsaw guy came out and me, you, and Curtis, but Kenzie didn't know. Kenzie had no idea what we were on. And then all of a sudden, the chainsaw guy comes out and me, you, and Curtis are just pulling each other to the ground, tackling each other. We're pretty much rolling around in dirt and rocks while this chainsaw guy and Kenzie are just over us laughing. And then, but hey, we got out of there. But that was honestly a lot of fun, though. Like, I remember growing up, I always used to be terrified of the haunted hydro. Never did I think the first time I would go through it, I'd be tripping balls,
I remember one time my dad, dude, like, I love haunted houses and stuff like that. I do. But also, I'm the type where I always went with like 5 or more people. And I was just, like, when I was a kid, dude, me and my stepbrothers would be in a line. And we would all I would be in someone's back and I would have their shirt the back of their shirt up above my eyes as everything is going crazy. So my dad takes me to a haunted house and it's just me and him. And he's not letting me fucking cling on to him. So he's like, no, get the fuck off me. So we're walking through and at one point he just takes off. He runs. And now he runs into the next room and he's like, my son's coming behind me. My son's coming behind me.
Oh, what a dick.
So now I'm running after him and then I end up in a fucking kitchen and there's nobody in there. And all of a sudden, a chainsaw comes out and the guy's got me in a corner just cutting my legs off. And I'm screaming and freaking out. And my dad was having a good laugh about that.
I always thought the scariest, besides the chainsaw guys, I always thought the scariest part about haunted houses were when they had the things hanging from the ceiling and you had to like go around the things and the strobe lights were going off and you literally had to only go by feeling. It was like your sight was gone. Like you couldn't look at anywhere. Have you ever heard of like those haunted houses? I don't know where the locations are, but you have to sign waivers.
Yes, I was just
they put you in boxes with snakes and like traps and they soak you with shit and food and it's literal torture. Now those people are running from something, or those people are like signing up to. I feel like some of them go into that like I could really die, like or maybe they're thinking maybe I will die. Like something that like that just doesn't appeal to me. I don't know. It's just like I don't know.
Well, there's levels to it really because there's some that there's some where it's like. Levels to it, like so they take you out and you're in a tent and if you leave the tent then they're allowed to grab. So the whole idea is you have to escape your tent and get somewhere without them kidnapping you. Mm-hmm. Isn't that fucking gnarly?
But it's like, if you can tackle me, can I punch you in the face? Like, if I leave the tent and you're right there and you tackle me, then am I not supposed to like fight back and fend you off? You know what I mean?
I don't know. I guess it's in the rules, but then there's one I've heard that is like outrageous. Like they actually like they'll cut your hair. They will waterboard you. You know what waterboarding is? It's where they put a knapsack over your they put a bag over your head and put you on a table, and then they fucking pour water all over your face so you can't breathe. And then the bag's all wet, so you're trying to breathe, but it gets in your mouth and shit. Oh, that's fucked up. But yeah, there's somewhere
that's literally how they like torture terrorists.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. But even steps behind that, at the haunted hydro, remember they would like pull one off to a separate room, and then they put you in a casket, and then it was me, but they put me in a casket and I rolled down something, and then I like re-met with you guys. It was nuts.
I don't remember that part. I'll take your word for it though.
Yeah, it happened for sure.
I haven't been to something haunted in a while, dude. Cedar Point, like Halloween weekends were always dope. I was thinking when you were talking about when you went to with your dad and you were like, you would hold someone's shirt up behind you. What I would do is I would nonchalantly just try to get in the middle of two bodies and just like try to be as confident as I could in between the bodies. But if they tried to get around me, I'm like, oh, I don't know, just any two bodies possible. You know what I mean?
Who'd you go with?
As long as I wasn't on the end.
Any two bodies.
Yeah, literally, bro. Or if it was like when you're at East Harbor State Park and they let the people go in front of you and then they cut it off right at you, and it's like, shit. Like,
yeah, you're at front, right? You're at the front. Man, I never went to the one at East Harbor State Park, but dude, on another note, because I feel like this is similar. Like if you owned your own haunted house, like course, like I feel like you could do that. It'd have to be scary as shit to gain some like respect and like people actually want to come out and spend money at your place, which is of course awesome. Like you should do that regardless. But dude, owning your own paintball course, dude, like fucking just going to a junkyard and buying an old beat up car, putting it in a field, and then just getting like, you know, other shit and just putting it all in this field and creating a paintball course. Don't you think that would be so fun? I've fantasized about that before.
Yeah, just like anything old and beaten down, you can just any types of barricades or things you can crouch behind.
Yeah.
When you're a paintball, do you wear can you wear guillotine suits or an amazing guillotine or or whatever
ghillie
it's called?
Suits,
ghillie suits, yeah.
Yeah. You can wear whatever you want.
I'm very excited to go paintballing.
We're gonna go paintballing. I wore literally a t-shirt and jeans, and and then I fucking had they give you a mask and then you rent a gun, and that's all. That's it.
When you got hit and knocked out, what body part did you get hit in?
Dude, I got shot right between the eyes from like 20 yards one time. I would get.
Did you like just fall right back? Did you? Or like
no, it's not like that. It's just like you're aiming at something, and then all of a sudden there's paint all over your face, and you're like, how the fuck? What? You know what I mean? It just happens so quick.
Does any get through the mask?
Nah, I mean, it has the potential to because there are air holes, but it like not to the point where it can like hit your face. Like you are protected.
For sure. Like it's the type of thing you might like take your mask off and like see some color or something like that. But
yeah, exactly. Like paint splatter. So I went with my friend Roman DeBlas. He took me paintballing for the first time ever up in Cleveland. And we go and there's like a bunch of kids our age. Like we're in like like I think we were in middle school at the time. That's a fact. We were in middle school. And middle school, high school, whatever. Anyway, so we go
pre-teen, post-teen.
Yes, pre-teen, post-teen. And so we go to this place in Cleveland that was, dude, it was so sick. They had 3 different courses. They had a speed course, which is just things that are blown up like big triangles and rectangles that were inflatable that you would, and it was very small. That's the speed course. And then you had the Western Town, which was literally 2 buildings side by side like this, and you could get up in the windows and shoot down at people. You could go in the buildings and stuff, which is awesome.
Dude,
and
that's sick.
Yeah, in between the buildings there was just a big long runway with a well in the middle of it. And then which you would play capture the flag there, try to get up to the well, grab the flag. And then there was another one that was just like an outdoor, it was like literally like bushes and trees and stuff like that. It was so sick. these kids are like, we want to do the gauntlet. We want to do the gauntlet. And the guy's like, no, we're not doing the gauntlet today. They're like, we want to do the gauntlet. We want to do the gauntlet. He's like, fine. And so they take us. I didn't know what the fuck the gauntlet was.
Yeah, like what the hell? Yeah, obviously, it sounds like it's the top tier thing, though. Like the gauntlet. You know?
And these kids have obviously been here before. I have not. And so they're like, we want to do the gauntlet. So we go. They're like, everyone get in the tops of the buildings at the old Western town. So they're like this. And all the players get on this side and on this side of the buildings. And now we're looking down at the middle road with the well in it. Mm-hmm. And there's two kids down there who start at this end and they run as fast as they can while we all open fire on them.
What? Wait, so they just have to make it to a certain spot?
They gotta try to make it through to the end.
Did they try to like dodge and weave or like roll or do anything, or they just ran?
I'm gonna tell you. There's nothing to hide behind either. That you just run because we're all above you, you know?
Yeah.
And so literally you start on this platform, and when they do the air horn, you run one at a time. And dude, literally you can't shoot them until they jump off the platform. And then as soon as they jump off the platform, you can start shooting them. I swear to you, the buzzer goes, this kid runs, jumps off. He takes 3 steps, boom, boom, boom. Everyone, like they were turning up the speed of which they could shoot their balls. So it was like fully automatic, just dropped to the ground. Didn't even make it 10 yards, drops to the ground.
And how many feet is the line? How long? Way up.
We're in a 2-story building.
Well, I'm saying like how far do they have to run to win?
Oh, I would say it was at least 50 yards. Not 50 yards. No, maybe 25.
Damn, that's still like a quarter of a football field. You're just getting gunned at with paintballs.
Yeah, well, they didn't make it 10. They didn't even make it 10 yards.
Well, did everyone at least do it?
No, just these 2 kids because they wanted to do it. And then the other kid makes it fucking maybe 10, 15 yards. People are just lighting them up, hits the ground. And then we all go down and look at them, and they've got already purple welts. Just because, I mean, when somebody really gets to line you up and just shoot at you, they've got welts, and they're all fucked up on their body and shit like that. It was insane, dude. Yeah, those kids were tough as nails.
Yeah, those kids were literally running from something.
Yeah. But we were on the topic of designing your own paintball field, dude. I think that would be like such a fun thing. Like when we get rich someday, we'll buy our own fucking plot of land and do a paintball course at it.
We need to have like a bouncy house right in the middle of the fucking paintball course.
Yeah, so you can just watch the action real close.
Yeah. Dude, Roman DeBlas, bro, we went to Tampa with him. We met him in Tampa for the Super Bowl a couple of years back when Brady won his 7th Super Bowl. So Ryan and I, we lived in Key Largo at the time, and we drove to Tampa for the Super Bowl. And this was like, it was like February. That's because we were in Key Largo, I think, for like 4 or so months. It was like right at the beginning of February. And so we go to Roman DeBlas's house, and first time I met the guy, a great guy, and him and his roommates were, very amazing. Cordial. Yes, very cordial. And so we ended up going around town, bar hopping and stuff, just the usual. And may I add, we may have not been of age at the time, but however, we ended up going to this outdoor bar, and they had the screen on the side of the brick building, and they had that little Bud Light bar right next to it.
Yeah, just somebody catering beers.
Yeah, and we just go up there and like, hey, and obviously it's like, it's Tampa, they're in the Super Bowl. When's the last time Tampa was in the Super Bowl? Like fucking 20 years before that. Mm-hmm. And the whole time there was this guy driving around with this Tampa Bay themed muscle car. He had the red and orange colored Tampa Bay colors. He had the flag sticking up out of the back. And I swear to God, dude, like the people of Tampa, the way they embraced Tom Brady, like it was incredible. Just like Brady, go Bucks. It was incredible. And the Chiefs didn't stand a chance. Like from the moment kickoff started to the end of the game, it was all Bucks. So they win. And at the end of the game, bro, I didn't even think about it at first, because like every time a Super Bowl winner wins, there's a huge riot.
Well, and it's never in their hometown is the thing. It's
right. Exactly.
So hometown.
Not only Tampa won the Super Bowl was in Tampa. They won. And then that same guy with the muscle car pulls around to the side of the bar, stops the car, and he's like, everyone, come on, let's go.
Yeah, and I'll preface, this car was like an old, like, classic nice muscle car, like with the all cream interior. Like this was a fucking nice car. This was no beater.
Right, exactly. And he definitely put some money into this.
Yeah.
And everyone, like hundreds of
Hundreds of people.
rush his car, start jumping on the car. Dude, like you know how when the cars like lean back and forth and like
yeah, the hydraulic systems.
Yeah, except there was no hydraulics. It was all people. And
there was
dude,
people
afterwards
on every inch of his car, standing, jumping, breaking it.
And afterwards, we got off the car and looked at it, and it was fucked. But the thing is, it's like, if it's gonna happen, that's the way it should happen. You know what I mean? It's like that guy had been waiting his whole life for that moment, you know?
And then you see him drive, this old man driving around with babes in the fucking car afterward. It worked. Whatever he was doing.
And then after that, we start walking down the street, and it was just like, the whole energy of the crowd just takes you in. So we're walking down the street, people are kicking down traffic cones, and then we just follow suit. We're climbing fucking stop signs. We end up finding ourselves in the middle of the whole city, and there's just a giant party going on. People are drinking, smoking, smashing beer bottles. I remember there was these group of people pulled up with this green street sign, threw it on the ground. We all just started stomping it, you know?
Yeah.
And then
dude, one guy pulled his dick out and started pissing on the hood of this lady's car. Like there was regular people just about their lives who aren't really football fans. Now they're caught in thousands of people having a fucking riot, and they're trying to get through traffic and stuff. People everywhere. This guy pulls his dick out, starts pissing right on the hood of this lady's car. I'm like, oh man, you can't do that.
yeah, you took it kind of a little too far with that one.
Yeah.
But then, dude,
it was a sex offender at that point.
Right, literally, we're like an hour and a half in the street. Like there's no cops, no nothing. And then the cops pulled up and started spraying everybody with rubber bullets and
they started shooting bean bags and rubber bullets. Well, first they get there and everyone's like, oh shit, they're like, off the street. And so they push us all off the street, and then we're all on the side. We're like, yeah, what are you gonna do? And then dude, it was like slow motion. You just see a fucking Corona bottle flying through the air. And then, bam, it smashes right in front of them. And they raise their fucking guns and charge and open fire. And people are screaming. Babies are crying, dude. And then people are climbing the street, the
traffic lights.
The traffic lights and doing fucking he was doing pull-ups and shit. And everyone's cheering him on. Anyway, once the cops cleared out the streets, now people are just finding places to hang out. And there was like parking lots where people had their fucking stereos going, and everyone was just jumping around. People on the roofs. It was nothing like I had ever seen, dude. It was so awesome.
Yeah, that was a surreal experience. And I love that we didn't really expect any of it too, because I think those are some of the best experiences. It was like when you go to have a good time and then something completely unexpected unfolds, like how that did. That was a once in a lifetime experience. Do you still have videos from that or photos? You don't have to pull any up. I'm just curious because I got a couple of phones over the last month, or not month, but year and a half, and
I think those files are on my lost. Snapchat memories. They're on my Snapchat. They'll probably be coming up in February.
Hell yeah! Well, that was an amazing experience. So,
if you lost a hand, right? If you lost your hand in some freak accident, your hand is now gone. You're an amputee, and you could attach any tool or attach anything to be where your hand previously was. What would be what would you choose, you know?
Well, is it my left hand or my right hand that gets cut off? Because that may change the game a little bit. Because if it's my right hand, I might use like the claw from Toy Story.
You need it for more functional uses.
But if it's my left hand, I might, like have like a pencil sharpener or something. Or I might have like, I don't know, like it's like, what do I use my left hand for that I wouldn't use my right hand for? You know what I mean?
No, 100%.
Or just like vice versa.
Let's say it's your non-dominant hand. You can still write. You can still, do whatever you do with your right hand.
Man,
but your left
hand. It can be anything.
Yeah.
Does it have to be like a tool out of a toolbox kind of thing?
No, you can get creative. You can do whatever.
Man, gosh, I'm going to have to think on this one. Why did you have something in your head that you thought?
I thought about it. I was like, because you hear of like the pirates, they have the hook, but why'd they stop there? You know
Yeah,
what I
like
mean?
why a hook? You know what I mean? Is it like an intimidation thing? Like you
Well, I
see the
think
point, you see the pointy edge, and you're like, oh, geez, don't want to mess with this guy.
I don't know. I'm gonna look it up. Why did pirates get hooks for hands?
Maybe I'd have like a Keurig coffee maker on my left hand, like a mini one. Maybe like maybe I could have like a heater. So like if I'm cold, I can just turn my heater on my hand and then just like go up and down my body and warm myself up. Honestly, I might just stick with the pencil sharpener. I think that was it.
Okay. From this page, it says, "Why do pirates have hooks?" Essentially, a hook for a hand would be a more reasonable choice for a pirate after losing an arm. It's simple and also a cheaper option than a prosthetic. What the fuck?
Did they even have They didn't have prosthetics.
No.
They had planks. They had wooden planks. That's why they did the leg, you know?
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I get it's cheap and such, but that just doesn't sound reasonable.
What about
But
like maybe a toothbrush?
a toothbrush, you can have the best teeth in the land. Okay, if I had to change mine, dude, I would probably, man. Okay, so if we're talking about absolutely anything, dude, I feel like I would just if I lost my hand and I could have a tool of anything, it would be another hand.
Fair enough.
No,
Honestly, it
no,
would
that's lame.
I would yeah, another hand, a little like the Iron Man hand. Could be like
Right?
something like that.
No,
No,
I'd probably
actually,
do
I'd pick Thor's hammer.
Thor's hammer. Right? I like it. I like it, dude.
And then I can't pick it up and I'm just spinning in circles. I'm like, this was a terrible decision.
Right? It's like, careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you're not the god of thunder. I'm like,
fuck. Careful what you wish for. That's funny. Yeah, I think actually, you know what? I would do a laser. So like a fucking high powered, like I could fucking cut somebody with the laser. I could light a cigarette with the laser. I could fucking
a lighter. A lighter. That's a great idea. You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Well, in that case, it's gonna be a flamethrower. A flamethrower for a fucking left hand.
Word.
Dude. Or something that shoots something. What's like your own kind of personal bow and arrow, you know?
Like a squirt gun.
Like a squirt gun.
Gotcha. No, honestly, I would pick the like you know how clowns shoot and it's like bang.
Yeah. Okay,
with the flag. Or like the thing where it's like you want a piece of gum and they pull it and it zaps them and it's like gotcha.
And then dude, like your friends and like you're like, this is gonna be great. And then after the first day, it's like everyone knows, so they won't do it. It's like you've wasted your pick on that and
on the gum, yeah.
Everybody. God damn.
A taser, pepper spray,
a taser
defense.
Defense. No, what if you could put anything? It's like another small man. Like you've just got a little sidekick.
Yeah, it's just a head.
Yeah.
It's like a real life puppet,
dude. It's actually just a mouth. It's like where your hand was is just a mouth, so you can fucking just.
Have you seen Harry Potter?
Yeah.
You know, like the hat. The talking hat that puts everybody where they're supposed to go at the beginning with the mouth.
I don't know it that well.
The sorting hat.
The sorting hat.
They all go crazy. Yeah.
So,
dude, I was gonna say, unless you have another question, I have like another topic that I wanted to go in. Mm-hmm. So, like, social media, right? Now, when people, I feel like I just ran into this. It's not like an issue, but it's like an observation. And it's just when people are constantly posting stuff about like, you know, like spirituality or how to live or something like that. And it's like post after post. It's like, when are you finding time to do that in real life? You know what I mean? And like, are you even doing that in real life? It's like, what are you trying to prove by posting all of this stuff in a sense, like where you could be actually going out and living those values? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I feel like people that post that, I mean, yeah, they're trying to spread, you know, love and goodness and all of that and like wisdom. But I feel like it gets to a certain point. It's like, what are you trying to prove? You know what I mean?
Well, it's a lot like they say people in relationships, like the ones who are posting them everywhere and posting it 24/7, like, oh, we're so in love, are actually the people who are like, it's just a front. Like the people who are truly in love, like are actually present, and it's not just a social media ploy. You know what I mean? Like they're there, and like you probably wouldn't even know they are dating, but if you looked at their social medias, you know what I mean? Because it's not about that social media type shit. It's about true, genuine love, like in the moment. So I see what you're saying too about like people just preaching, like, just preaching about these values that they may hold true and dear, but also, yeah, it's like, sometimes I feel I used to feel out of place going to like spiritual places like that, because I felt as if though like those people were so like focused on energies and so hyper focused on like every little move I make, that they're gonna try to make an assumption about me based on how I walk, talk, or feel. You know what I mean?
Mm,
So I can't truly be my just genuine, comfortable self around them, because I feel as if though they're always gonna be judging me based on their holier than thou view of life.
mhm.
Um, but I've realized that like that's a me thing that they're probably just completely not even thinking about. But it's
Yeah, it's
difficult
like
when people, are like, I can see this in some people just by the look at their eyes, or I can see this, I know this, or I feel that.
absolutely, yeah, and I feel like the wiser people, in a sense, if they're living those values, wouldn't be, posting that stuff, like trying to, reach out. I thought of another point. Gosh, it just like completely left my brain. But we can go on to another topic, and I'll
Okay.
go
So
back into it.
this is a fun topic. Back in, let's see, when
Oh,
is
this is
this?
okay. Oh, actually,
Like,
I feel like the people that do that, what we were just talking about, fall into the same category as like, those people who are like, oh, that makes sense because you're a Taurus, or that makes sense because you're a Pisces, and they try to like bring everything back to horoscopes. I think the funniest shit is when you see videos of people who will get exposed for that online, where it's like, what do you think I am? And they're like, Scorpio, and then he's like, oh yeah, that makes sense, or something like that. And he's like, no, I'm kidding, I'm a this. Like, you're an
yeah,
idiot. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. He
It's like not
completely.
everything just fits under that little box. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I think that astrology can be used to develop more of an understanding about personalities, but just because like it's not specific. You know what I mean? And there's certain
Mhm.
people that fall on like in the middle between one horoscope and the other. I think it's not I think it's ignorant to base everybody based on just their horoscopes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I agree about that. Because at the end of the day, I look at apps like, do you have the pattern, Nick?
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, you got to add me on that. But so the pattern in all of these other apps that basically just kind of give you a just some information to maybe as to why you're feeling this way, or what patterns you're going through. Like, for anybody out there who doesn't know what the pattern is, it's this app where you enter in your birthday, um, all that good stuff, everything about you, the moon stars, this and that. And essentially, like, we're all going through it, like, knows the phases of life you're going through. So, like, one right now, for example, for me is letting go of the past, right? And I'm doing that for 3 months. I just got done with one that was 18 months long. And there's all these other ones, all these other things. And it's wild. Like, you look at it, it's like, huh, like, you know what I mean? Some of it really hits, like, you know what I mean? Like, maybe you're about to move to a new place or do something new, and it's like, embark on adventure. It's like, how the fuck? You know what I mean? How would you know? But anyway, what
Mhm.
I'm trying to say is I look at that, but I don't look at it like I
I
look
know I know where you're going with this. It's like you don't want it to dictate
how
you
I
don't want
live my life.
how you approach every single situation. Like I'm not gonna get up, read my co-star, and then be looking for that thing all
Hmm.
day.
Yeah,
Like I use it as like a guide, like a not a guide, but just like something to keep in mind. Like if I approach a situation that may have some resonance or resonate with that, it's like, okay, how can I see this from a different perspective? Or how can I learn something? How can I correlate what I you know what I mean? It's like it's
for
just
sure.
about. I think it's taken too seriously sometimes,
Right,
and
exactly.
sometimes I
It's not my Bible, but I definitely take give and take some of it.
Exactly right. And I like to get away from those apps sometimes because I feel like sometimes I personally can get a little ahead of myself in regards to that, or looking up like the tarot readings on YouTube or something like that. It's like it's used as a tool to help you better understand maybe a situation or like a little, put you in the right direction, but it's not literal. You know what I
Hmm.
mean?
Right. Yeah, I agree with that, dude. I totally agree. I want to jump to maybe the best time for TV and movies, television. 2009, a show came out on MTV. You might be familiar with that MTV. Um, a show called Bully Beatdown.
In 2009.
Yeah, are you familiar?
I've heard, yes.
Do you know what it is?
Yes, bully beatdown. Is it when they go and find bullies and then they beat on the bullies?
Yeah. So
Okay.
so essentially, Bully Beatdown um aired on MTV. I'll just read it right from the Wikipedia so I don't get anything wrong. In each episode, show host Jason Mayhem Miller challenged bullies to fight against a professional mixed martial artist for a chance to win $10,000. The money they would receive depended on their performance against their opponent, with any money they didn't win going to the bully's victims. If the bully managed to submit or knock out the martial artist at any time, they won a $5,000 bonus. So let's just talk about that for a second. The layout of this show, dude. Like, sometimes the bully wins,
Yeah, and then it's like, and then you give the bully confidence to keep bullying.
and now he's
It's like,
got
oh,
$5,000.
if a UFC fighter can't beat my ass, sure as hell no one can. You know what I mean? And I'm just gonna beat on the kid I'm bullying even harder, and then I'm gonna
Yeah,
use the money for like torture mechanisms, if anything.
makes us make the victim's life a living hell. But how, like, dude, if the bully does win, he'll go back to school, and now that guy is rich and famous for winning on Bully Beatdown, and now he's the bully. Like, how do you go about that? How do you go? I mean, it's things are significantly worse at that point, right?
Well, maybe you just have to get on the bully side and just start bullying kids with them.
How many bullies won in Bully Beatdown?
I'm gonna guess 10%. 10% of bullies. So 10 out of 100 bullies win.
The way you say bullies. Come on, show me here. Oh my god, this is funny. List of Bully Beatdown episodes. Who was the only bully beater to ever to lose to the bully? So I think only one.
Let's pull up a picture of this bully. And I want to see the UFC fighter that's doing this too. I feel like the UFC fighter that's doing this, and I could be wrong because I don't know the UFC fighter's name. Mind you, I'm sure he's skilled and a professional at what he does. But if you're a UFC fighter going to take out bullies at schools that are less skilled than you at fighting, then what's really going on here? Are
Yeah.
you just trying to deflect that you couldn't fight in the UFC and beat
So
up actual fighters?
this guy, um, he's 27, 21. 27 and 21. I mean, still, that's a lot of time in the octagon. Am I right?
Yeah, 27 and 21. I mean,
That's a lot.
you don't really even see records like that. I feel like, I mean, how often do fighters get over 50 or 60 fights in the UFC? Is that common? Because I feel like when we watch UFC, at
It
least we
happens.
see like people who are like 15-4 or 25-3 or something like that. But like 27 and 21, that seems like a lot, like a good amount
Well,
of
yeah,
time.
that's like at the end, like Shogun Hua
True.
just retired at 33 and 9.
Okay. Who's the greatest UFC fighter ever that everyone talks about? Khabib.
Yeah, Khabib, he retired at I don't remember what his record was.
Undefeated though, right? Never lost.
Yeah.
Fought bears as a wee child.
Yeah, he did. Khabib, can you still see my screen?
Yeah. I can't see
Nice.
Khabib.
29 and 0. Oh, you can't?
No. I just see the Thomas Wildman Denny.
Oh, gosh. But yeah, Khabib was 29 and 0.
Wow, bro, look at his body, dude. Oh my god.
I
Like,
know.
dude, Some people get to the point and fit. It's just like crazy. Like people just really do the damn thing. It's incredible.
It's insane.
Win.
Win.
Well, we'll save the UFC and the Khabib talk for some throwing mitts, guys. So for all our
That's
listeners
right.
out there, go check out throwing mitts.
Yeah, check out throwing mitts. But we're on the topic of bully beatdown and the logistics of this.
Yes.
So let's. Oh fuck, that's not what I meant to do. All right. We'll go back here. Just because I'm so engulfed by this fucking show, it's so wild. Okay, so episodes in the first season featured 4 segments. The first segment involved Mayhem revealing a video featuring the victims describing their bullying situation and asking for help. This was followed by the host meeting with the victim in person and briefly discussing their problems. Mayhem and the victim would then confront the bully, and Mayhem would offer the bully $10,000 to fight a professional MMA fighter. In all of the episodes that aired, the bully accepted.
So regardless, the bully is getting 10,000 to fight.
No.
Or how much is he getting? Anything to even fight, or is it like he gets 10,000 if he wins?
Yeah, so we'll get into it.
Okay.
The segment consisted of Mayhem bringing the bully into his gym to see how the bully fights in order to help him determine whom to put him in the cage against. During the segment, Mayhem introduced the bullies to their corner man and would usually briefly discuss the fight with them. The segment would end up with the victims meeting with the fighter who would be challenging their bully, and the audience would be shown clips of the bully preparing in the locker room. The third segment would begin with Mayhem standing in the ring with the victims, introducing them to the crowd. After a brief introduction, the bully would be brought out to boos from the crowd. Mayhem would then let the bullies and victims have a few last words before bringing out the fighter. Once the professional fighter entered the cage, the audience would be shown a short segment explaining the rules. Finally, longtime professional referee Big John McCarthy would begin the first round. Round 1 was a 3-minute grappling only round. Oh, okay, 3-minute grappling only. I didn't know that. The bully would begin the round with $5,000 and would lose $1,000 every time they were forced to tap out, with the lost money going to the victims. Okay, so they started with $5,000 and they would lose $1,000 every time they were forced to tap out. The final segment began with an explanation of the rules for round 2, a 3-minute kickboxing round. The bully wins $5,000 if they can survive the entire 3 minutes, but does not get any money if they quit or get KO'd or the referee stops the fight. After the round ends, Mayhem deals out the money and asks the bully if there is anything they want to say to the victims. In most episodes, the bully offered an apology.
Nice. So let's go and let's do some digging to find this champion bully.
Yeah, I want to see the bully who won bully beatdown.
Just look up bully wins bully beatdown.
There's a video of it.
Let's watch it. Wait, can we? You think on here? Or we don't have to watch like the whole thing? We don't have to watch it at all. We can. Hey, everybody listening, go and watch Bully Beatdown. Let us know what you think about the bully fighting the UFC winner or the UFC fighter.
Let's see who wins. Who is Quinn Mulhern on Bully Beatdown? Oh,
dude, honestly, like this was on MTV. You said,
yeah.
MTV at one point had to be the best station and channel there was on television. I mean, there was a time when they really just knew what they were doing. I mean, they had what was that one show where Silent Library, was that an MTV?
So, oh my God, Silent Library, dude. Let's talk about that in one moment because I fucking love that shit. But what happened to the first bully to win all the money? All $10,000 going to the bully, despite winning all the money. Dennis decided to stop bullying his victim Stan and Andre. This is the first and only bully to win all of the money. Robert and Kyle have one major problem. Garrett, this is the self-proclaimed king of Tussin that makes their lives miserable. Whatever. So Dennis is the guy, but they don't give his last name. I want to see a photo of this guy. But dude, a brief history of bullying. All right, let's look up Silent Library.
Dude, Silent Library, and then there was another. There was like a lot of good shows. You can never forget Jersey Shore, of course.
Yeah,
You know
fuck
what I
yeah.
mean?
I would stay up on
Classic.
Wednesday nights. My parents would always go to the bar on Wednesday nights, and I would stay up and watch Jersey Shore.
Ridiculousness, of course. That still goes on, doesn't it, though?
Dude, that shit is fucking crazy. I heard that's all scripted. Down
Oh,
to
really?
everything is scripted.
Man, it irritates me so much when I find out that a show's scripted. Like, spoiler alert, anyone who watched Storage Wars, there's a guy with gray hair and glasses. I forget the guy's name, but was my favorite character, and he's a paid actor. And when I found that out, it's just like the whole thing is at that point.
Yeah.
Who gives a shit? It's like I want to see some guys who want some fucking storage, who are really willing to put their money on the line. You know what I mean? A paid actor. He's not even
because it's all fucking just entertainment, you know?
Yeah, I guess.
It sucks. So 6 coworkers take on the Not Happy Hour plus Spice Helmet Challenge. Should we just watch a little bit of this?
Mm-hmm. Wait, was it Joe Rogan that did this show?
No, that's Fear Factor.
Fear Factor. Was that MTV too?
No, that was Spike Television.
Spike. Man, Spike FX. 2 of my favorite channels growing up. Shout out.
This is not a game show. This is Silent Library.
Silence!
Meet the players.
Oh, I want to watch this.
Megan.
Dude, let's have a throwback MTV marathon when you guys come back.
I'm so in. So here they go, the Spice Helmet.
Justin must wear a helmet that fills with fennel seeds, black pepper, and chili pepper for 30 seconds.
Jeez.
We just can't watch it with the sound on.
Okay.
Bro, are these real people or is this scripted? That's what I want to know.
Right, because it's like really. Well, it depends because it really depends who's in that thing. Because if you or Joe Money were in that, I would be dead. Like right
yeah,
off.
like who is it to them?
I wouldn't even like the moment we signed up for Silent Library to the moment that it was over. I would have a shit-eating grin on my face.
Yeah,
the whole time.
yeah. I want to do it, dude. How did contestants sign up for Silent Library? Because what the fuck, dude?
Stay tuned, everybody. We're gonna do a more skit, Silent Library skit.
Well, I've got some ideas. So this is called Bad Measure. Let's see what this one's about. God damn, we're just sitting here watching Silent Library.
Silent Library.
2 retractable tape measures.
She's got her fingers in the loops. They're gonna come back and snap her fingers. I feel like that was dumb.
Yeah. All right. Silent Library. Shout out. It was a great few years.
Dude, seriously, we should. You know what we should do? We should just go and sign up like for all of these contestant reality TV shows.
I mean, seriously, someone's got to do it. You know, if you could be on one contestant reality show, what would it be? Would it be Silent Library? Or Silent Library aside, what would it be? Because we just got done talking about it.
Shit got nasty in Silent Library. Like sometimes they would have a fat, sweaty guy come in and like you would have to put your face under his titties and stuff like that. Like those were kind of mediocre challenges, but sometimes they got fucking wild.
Dude, if I could pick one, it'd be Wipeout.
Dude, Wipeout. I remember that shit. Dude,
but the thing is, they pick unathletic people to do it.
100%.
There's never anyone who could really do that shit, you know, because there's sometimes when I'm like, I watch Wipeout and I'm like, you could totally like, that looks easy. But there are some times when something comes unexpected, like Jackass. Remember when Jackass had the hand that came around the corner and slapped people in the face? Yeah,
but also in Wipeout, you got to think they're all wet. The shit is soapy too. You know, they made it like slippery and wet.
There's nothing to grip onto.
Nothing to grip onto. So I think it's easy to say, oh, I could do that right now, but in the moment it'd be a little bit more difficult, but we would win, no doubt.
It's like right, facts. It'd be like it's a more unathletic American Ninja Warrior.
Yeah, oh my god, American Ninja Warrior grew up on that shit too. If I had to join one though, a game show, man, a game show. I don't know. I want to create my own game show. Let's create a game show. Okay. So essentially, where do we start with a game show?
Is it physical or is it intelligence? Like, do we have to use our brain or our body first? Or both?
You know what? I like a physical.
Physical? Okay, so
it's a physical challenge.
Are we doing a course or is it mano y mano? Is it a team or is it 1v1? Or is it just a course?
I like a course. Let's build a course.
Is it a land course or a water course?
Both.
Okay, land and water. Is it dry terrain? Is it wet terrain? Are we in the desert? Are we in the jungle? Are we in snowstorms? Like, where are we?
So I think it's in the desert, right? But this is extreme, okay? So do you know what the Tough Mudders are?
No.
So they're like 5Ks that have like serious obstacles you have to get over. Like it's a 5K with like all these dope obstacles, except ours is like extreme, right? And it's like it's a 4-man leg race. So you have 4 people on your team, right? And you're facing. There's 4 teams of 4 people, right? And each has like a quarter mile of obstacles they have to get through, right?
Okay.
So there's 4 teams, 4 people on each team, and
they got to get through a whole mile, a quarter mile a person.
0.25 a person.
Okay.
And I mean that's pretty extreme right there. Already getting the distance of a quarter mile is tough. And then let's create the first quarter mile, okay?
Okay.
The first quarter mile.
So a dry desert, right? Oh, immediately there's a sandstorm and you can't see shit.
Well, that we couldn't recreate that every episode though. You know, okay, unless you fucking
we're working on episode 1, right? The terrain is different every single time, right? So it's like it's either a sandstorm, a blizzard, it's a huge tidal wave, and you're swimming.
I'm thinking like there's like a snake pit, and you have to wade through non-venomous snakes. Like it's like this one isn't about speed; it's psychological. So for 0.25, a quarter mile, you have to wade in like hip deep pits of snakes.
And snakes, like Indiana Jones when they fall in the pit and there's all the snakes.
How about a majority of them are fake snakes or like rubber snakes, and then there's like a percentage of them that are real snakes. So you don't know.
Even if the snakes aren't venomous, can they bite?
Because it's like inhumane to pull out their fangs, right?
Yeah, I guess.
So I think, yeah, you can get bit.
Is it just snakes? Are there bugs? Is it smell? You know what I mean? The thing is, people never think like these snakes have to go to the bathroom. You know what I mean? I bet like think about it. If there's like a ton of humans and they're like swarming around each other, it's gonna stink. It's gonna be sweaty. You know what I mean?
How about this? Oh my god, I got it. So for a quarter mile, there's a snake pit. 99% of them are fake. And then there's one like fucking giant, larger than life, venomous python. You know those big yellow ones?
Yeah.
Like fucking ginormous. There's one of them, but you don't know in each pit. So there's just one. So you're waiting because you know if you run, you might get bit and you don't know where it is. So it's all psychological. You're waiting, you're waiting. And if you get bit, you're eliminated. But eliminated.
Wait, so it's like, dude, maybe it's gotta be that like that thing in Karate Kid when the guy and the snake are going and like imitating each other, and you have to like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or the snake will bite you.
Oh, the snake will bite you. Okay, so leg number 2. You hand off the thing, and now we're on the second leg of the race.
Quicksand. You have to, not a quarter mile, all right? But there's like levels, right? So like you have to run through quicksand, right? It's like 20 feet, right? You got to make it, and then there's a ladder, right? And then you got to climb out of the quicksand, up the ladder, and then there's another one. So it's like levels of quicksand, and each one's just a little bit longer than the last one, right? And and then obviously, well, if you go under, you're dead. But no, I'm kidding.
No, this is lethal.
Yeah, true.
Okay, and then so is that leg number 2? Is the quicksand?
So the snake pit and then the quicksand. So we got a half mile left to go. Okay,
and this one is a physical challenge. So this one, there's ATVs, right? People on ATVs, 4-wheel, and then there's a rope with knots tied into it, right? It's about 20 feet long, and this is in the desert. You have to grab onto the rope however you want. You get to grab onto the rope. You can put your knees around it, or you can just do your hands. But this ATV is gonna drag you across the desert, fucking holding onto this rope for
a quarter mile. If you let go, it stops, and you have to grab back on. Like you literally have to hold on to it the whole quarter mile.
If you let go, you're eliminated.
Well, so how fast is this thing going? It has to it can't be going like 20
miles an hour.
You're fucked
off the ground.
Well, you gotta at least give me a skateboard or a ripstick or something like that. Or like a razor scooter for wheels, you know what I mean?
But I think there's a strategy to it. If you can't lay like a stone, or else it's gonna pick you up, it's gonna smack you around. If you grab it like this and lay your tummy flat and fucking you're just flat, you just get dragged at 35 miles an hour, you're good.
And think about it. I mean, do the math. I mean, that's quick. I mean, you get done that pretty quick. You know
yeah. Well, that's because our other ones were pretty slow. So this is fast, and this, but they all go. The drivers.
Well, if you do it 60 miles an hour, right? If I'm going 60 miles an hour, right? That means I'll get 1 mile in a minute, right?
Sure.
Okay, so that means that if I did a mile in a minute at 60 miles an hour, if I cut that into quarter, it'd be like 15 seconds, So double that. So if I'm going 30 miles an hour, all you have to do is hold on for 30 seconds.
Exactly.
At 30
and so here's this. The person driving the ATV is the last teammate of the race. And so you have to work together. Like, are you good back there? You holding on, And if you don't hear anything, they're gone,
So you're fucked, yeah.
So you can drive as fast as you think your teammate can hold on, and that gives the people.
Dude, I have the perfect last quarter. All right. So right when you get your person past the quarter, the last person's driving. Right, there is a ramp that is a quarter mile distance, and the other side, the other side of a cliff, and you have to make it across, or you fall in the cliff and die.
So they let go, and then they continue riding the ATV over the ramp.
Yeah.
And you
have to speed up at that point. You have to go 35.
Dude, think about this. There's a quarter mile like ramp, and you're driving. You're like fucking going. How fast can an ATV go? Do you think?
I mean, probably could go like 80, I'd say.
Okay, I like it. So they're going, let's call it 80. You're getting up to top speed for a quarter mile. And then at the end of the ramp, you're wearing a parachute, and it fucking just goes into the Grand Canyon, and you fucking drive your ATV off the ramp, and then you have to fucking fly down in a squirrel suit and then pull your parachute and then land on a target.
What if there's a brick wall that the ATV will crash into, and you have an ejector seat, and you have to pull the ejector seat, and then you launch out of it, and you're like, "Oh shit, I forgot to grab the parachute and the shotgun seat." Yeah, dude, that's great. That's a great game. What are we calling this? I don't know. So we got the snake pit, the quicksand.
ATV.
the ATV drag, and then the ATV
parachute.
jump, the parachute.
The ATV jump, the parachute.
Dude,
so what's the name of our game show?
Well, it's a different terrain every time, right? So it's like, or is it always the sand?
No, it can be different terrain because I think that'll, we'll
Wait,
do one season of races at the same place, and then season 2 is the next place.
The Valley of Death.
The Valley of Death. Well, it's got to be at the Grand Canyon so people can parachute into the Grand Canyon.
All right, the Grand Death Canyon.
No. What do you tune into Grand Death Canyon? You know what I mean? Like we can call it like let's think of like what's a synonym for race?
Like race. Gosh, like oh well, you know how they call it like the Daytona 500, right? So what if it's like the Grand Canyon mile something? You know what I mean?
I don't think we have to call it grand anything because it's going to be at a different place each time. So let's focus on like maybe like the elite relay event, or you know what I mean, like
the quarter mile of death.
We want people to win.
Do we though? Do we? What's better for viewers?
We have 4x4 because it's 4 teams.
Right.
Four teams, four legs. So the 4x4 Elite Rodeo.
Elite Rodeo.
Elite Rodeo.
The 4x4 by 1/4 for quarter mile.
So
that's amazing.
The 4x4 Elite Rodeo. Can we agree on that?
Yes, the 4x4 Elite Rodeo. Elite. And the thing is, it's like one of those things where it like zooms in with the lettering and it's like 4x4 Elite Rodeo.
The 4x4 Elite Rodeo. I love it, dude. I think that's a great place to stop, man.
Dude, doesn't
get much better than that.
Yeah, and we'll keep you guys updated on the progress we make towards creating that event. We'll have signups and everything.
I love it, dude. That was super fun, man. Everybody out there, if you enjoy what we're doing here at More Productions, like, comment, subscribe, send this to all your friends, your family. Send it via carrier pigeon to people in jail, whatever you got to do to spread the love of More. Thank you so much. I had so much fun today, Nick.
Yes, absolutely, bro. This was a lot of fun. Peace and love, guys. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, and we'll be back next Monday for another episode.
Big bets. Peace out.